So, welcome to my channel. And on this channel, we talk about music, politics, art, and everything in between, really. Apparently, adorable, sexy, okay, and witty. So, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Quickly, if you have not, please subscribe to my channel. Get into the comment section. I love it when you guys interact with me because that makes me feel like I'm not talking to myself. Anyway, let's quickly get into it. This is a topic that I really did not want to delve into when it first hit the fan, so to speak, because I wanted to wait until we had something to it. So, if you follow African politics, if you follow politics in general, if you follow activism in general, you would have heard what is going on in Zambia right now. So on the 22nd of this month, which is June, on the 22nd, a protest has been planned. So we will see. I'm sure it will go ahead anyway because according to the law, you only notify the police of your intent to protest, and they will either tell you that they can afford to give you security, or if you can have security by yourself, then that's also fine. But in general, you just have to notify them. The rules that are, the constitution that we have right now in Zambia mainly is based on the colonial constitution, the ones that the colonial masters used to subjugate the people. And so we had the likes of the president, the first Republican president, Kenneth Kaunda. He got into power and he saw the power that the colonial masters had over him and his people, and he wanted that and he took that. Herein comes Chiluba. He puts in the Christianity clause, still maintains the basics, still maintains the base of the constitution, which gives him that authority. And with the infusion of religion, he uses it to, steal from the country. Herein comes Mwanawasa, who tried to change things. Unfortunately, he passed away. Here comes Rupia Banda, corruption. Here comes in Michael Sata, didn't do much. Here comes Lungu. Clap for him. He has destroyed the nation. So during his reign so far, President Edgar Chagwa Lungu has been an absent president. President Edgar Lungu he doesn't care. President Edgar Lungu, during his presidency, has shown that he prefers foreigners to his own people. He prefers, he's selfish. Record shows. So, but the main topic of discussion today is Chellah Tukuta. Now, for most of you, you do not know who this Chellah Tukuta is. Chellah Tukuta is a photographer, okay? He is a photographer. Why am I talking about him? First of all, Chellah Tukuta came onto the line. I took some notes so that I don't lose my my train of thought. Chellah Tukuta came onto the scene, he came onto the scene via a scandal. He was cheating on his wife. He was having an affair on his wife, and he was flaunting the girl he was cheating on his wife with all over social media. He was showcasing this woman, and he didn't care. He was like, this is my life. I'm going to live my best life. And that's how we saw disrespecting himself and disrespecting his wife and disrespecting his family. And that's how we got to know about Chellah Tukuta, via his cheating. From there, he started, making videos talking about models. He jumped into the drama of these models, the Alices and the Mercies, because, they were talking about themselves and, using their vaginas to get money, whatever. He jumped into that, and we saw that. From that, he jumped to now talking about influential politicians who were also a part of that drama, a part of that scandal. He started talking about how, they were also a part of that. They were taking these girls out to Dubai. They were, There's so many videos. I didn't want to post a video of him because he ranted a lot and I didn't have time to edit that video. Okay, just go, you find it on the internet. He was, I'm paraphrasing here, he started dragging named politicians and saying that they were engaging in basically sex trafficking and abusing money, which is taxpayers' money, by, you know, taking these girls. You know, he mentioned the Dora Cilias, he mentioned the permanent secretary, he mentioned names of influential people, and that, you know, just keep a tag on that. He said these guys were doing these things, and he said he had evidence that these guys were doing these things. Then he moved on to talking about the corruption in Zambia, the corruption in the PF government. Okay, he talked about this. And that is where he spent now most of his time. He started actually attacking politicians who were doing corrupt things. He started complaining about, you know, you guys are corrupt, you guys are corrupt. And everybody was like, yes, you know. Fast forward, Bowman Lusambo, as I think I did a video of this, Bowman Lusambo now mentioned that he did a press briefing. Again, I will not show that video because I already talked about that video and I don't want to edit that video. You can find it on the internet. So Bowman Lusambo comes on, holds a press briefing, and basically threatens Biflo. I did a video, just go check that video out. Biflo was threatened by Bowman Lusambo. Kings Malembe, that weirdo, was also, you know, told to apologize, and so was Chellah Tukuta. Because according to Bowman, by them complaining about what was happening in the country, they were bringing the name of the country into disrepute, and they were disgruntled youths. And that is where we are at right now, okay? So just last week, we started hearing, like, I woke up to like lots of messages, lots of taggings on the internet. Oh, check, Chellah Tukuta, the photographer, has been arrested. And everybody said, when, you know, when he was talking about, especially when he started talking about corruption, many people knew, because under the PF government, you're not allowed to like criticize them, basically, especially if you're a young person. They shit on you. And we saw this coming. They were gonna arrest him. So this guy was picked up apparently in the night and was taken to the police station. Early the next morning, we had the likes of Biflo updating the nation, updating us, the disgruntled youths, on where his whereabouts. We're like, okay, where is this guy? He called the police spokesperson, who is supposed to be aware of, you know, especially such things. You're supposed to be aware. Who didn't know? It's like, I'll call the other person. Like, how am I? So they didn't know why he was arrested. He wasn't charged yet, but he was taken into the cells, into the you know, he was put behind bars without a charge. This is all information you can look up, you guys, okay? So they took somebody who has not been charged and put him in the cell, awaiting to be charged. Make that make sense? I don't know what. So then social media went into a frenzy now. Oh my God, they just took somebody who has been speaking against their corruption. This is what we've been saying. The PF government, you know, hates being criticized. The PF government is, you know, Edgar Lungu is a dictator. He hates it. Da, 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 da. Then after hours, I think after social media went crazy, then after some hours and hours, and then they formally charged him with criminal labor. Or is it libel? Libel. How do you say that freaking thing? Libel. Criminal libel. Now, criminal libel is like, you know, sometimes you can say, oh, defamation of character, but it's more, you know, somewhere there, because I Googled it. It's the offense of a malicious defamatory statement in a permanent form. Chellah Tukuta accused these guys of soliciting, trafficking in prostitution. Videos are there. That, and he said he had evidence that they had done that. This is a criminal offense. Like, this is what he was saying was very. Now, this is what they arrested him for. Okay. This is where we are at right now. This is the charge that they have laid on this table. Now, herein comes the debate. After this backstory that I've given you, some people can see that Chellah Tukuta was wrong. or whichever way you put it. But the videos he was putting out were defamatory, basically. Okay, and that was a loophole that they've used to try and silence him. This is what many people are saying. However, most people do not look at it as this guy is being arrested for this. They're looking at it from the point that, they have arrested him because he was calling out their bullshit. Basically, he was calling out their bullshit, was calling out their corruption, and they don't like it. I am of the opinion that this was a burning pot. Right now, when we are having the youths about to protest the freedom of speech, right now when we are having issues of, people just basically getting tired of all this nonsense that's going on in the country, and we have them arrest a hot pot. Like Chellah Tukuta is a hot pot. He's a boiling issue all over social media. This guy has been in the forefront alongside B-Flow. We have been talking about Chellah Tukuta. Everybody has been supporting Chellah Tukuta. And now they have taken the guy who was in the front and put him behind bars and trying to say that they're charging him with criminal libel. Now, most people will not see the problem that he himself caused by saying that these politicians were doing this. They're seeing it from the point of, why are they arresting somebody who's been talking about their corruption? And to some point, I can see it. Whoever is running the PR department in the PF party, you guys are not doing yourself any favors, really. All you have to do is just look at the comments. Anybody right now, I think even for this video, I'm probably going to get flack because I think he is rightfully so to be charged. Like, what he was saying was defamatory, basically. However, many people see it as the PF government versus Dora Celia versus this Chanda person and the other guy, I've forgotten what his name is. So this is a photographer versus the politicians who have right now, who are like, the police are under them. The police are not independent in Zambia. The police are literally cadres. All the way from the police, from the top to the bottom, they're all cadres. They listen to politicians. Like, they do not do their job independently. So we have this force of politicians with money, with power, against a photographer who seems in the people's eyes to be standing up for freedom of speech. And therein, the scale already is tipped against him. Like, it's not fair. If you look at it from a layman's perspective, like, it's not fair. Because even when going to visit him, we had like there were a lot of gaps in the middle. Like, where is this guy? People were literally calling to try and find out where exactly they were holding this guy. So you see that. You see all of this, and the PF has messed up on this one. And I am of the opinion that as a politician, as a person in a position of power, as a person who has some sort of influence, you have to have thick skin. You cannot be like me. Take out the likes of Donald Trump, Angela Merkel, who else? Even Barack Obama. Look at how even the Queen herself, even Boris Johnson, Theresa May, these guys were dragged like crazy. But if you're a politician, you know that it comes with the job. I am of the opinion that with them, the likes of Dora Celia, these influential people who, of course, they're human, but their job itself tells them that they're open to public scrutiny. Very bad things will be said about them. Very good things will be said about them. But it's up to them to focus on what they're trying to do. They are politicians. They're giving credibility to this guy. They're giving credibility to what he said. And this is the problem. Because my aunties on Facebook, my father's on Facebook, my mummy's on Facebook, they're not going to see this as, yes, he did, it's criminal libel or whatever. They're going to see it as, this guy's being shut down. They don't like what he's saying, and they're trying to shut him up. And especially with the coming of the protest, when they're seeing that these government officials are already against the peaceful protest that these youths are going to do, it's not a good look at all. And I can see why people are standing up for Chellah Tukuta. I can see why people are saying, let this guy go. I don't know, what is your view on all of this? What is your take? What do you think? Do you think this was the right move or not? Why not? Personally, I think this was a wrong move, wrong timing, everything. Because the moment he started, they should have. This is what they should have done. Like if they saw that, because these were the first few videos that he was doing. Like this was before the activism. They just literally turned this guy who's a cheater, who was cheating on his wife, was busy being weird on Facebook, basically, and they just turned him into a hero. And now let me flip it aside also. If this were a woman, if this were an Iris Kaingu, I don't think we would have let this slide. We would have been calling her a cheater. We would not have seen any of this. Because even now, Iris Kaingu has moved far from whatever it is that happened 1,000 years ago. And yet people, whenever she posts something, they're always talking about her sex tape. Like, it's so old. It's not even that good. And it's there. However, when you look at the likes of Bobby East, we're still banging to his music. We've still moved on from that. We don't. So I think that, anyway, I digressed a little bit there, but I just think this was the wrong move. And I understand people who are standing with Chellah. We've seen groups trying to raise money for Chellah. We have seen groups trying to get lawyers for Chellah to get him out of there. And if Chellah loses this case, which he probably could, I mean, the evidence is right here. If he loses this case, it's not going to look good for the PF. I mean, how are they going to come back in 2021? How are they going to come back during their campaigns and say they respect freedom of speech when this is what they're doing? Just yesterday, I was listening to another Beef Law. You can go on his Twitter. He shared another video, another audio of an MP, a member of parliament, threatening a young person, saying that, I'm going to send thugs to you. Basically, this was a thug MP. This was, and they're saying to this person that I'm going to send people to come and beat you up, and the police ain't going to do shit about it, because if they call me, I'm just going to tell them that that guy has been misbehaving. And that in itself is a problem. You see, the police are not independent. The police are cadres. The police are thugs. They are paid by us to beat us. We had the likes of Tutwangulube, who's also, saying that the police are going to break the legs of the protesters. This he was saying on video. He had the nerve, he had the courage, he had the guts to go out there on video and say to the police, when these guys do what the law says they have the right to do, go out there and beat the shit out of them. At the end of the day, the PF is not looking good right now. Like, as a party, as a president, because the fish, like I said, the fish always rots from the head. You cannot say he's surrounded by bad people, because he's choosing those people. You cannot tell me that the president doesn't see what's going on, because he does. Bowman Lusambo is there, a boot leaker, leaking ass kisser. His words are there, because boot leaker ass kisser is the same thing. Is that? He sees what Bowman does. He sees what Tutwangulube says. He reads the newspaper. He sees the TV. They owns it. And he knows these things. And he lets it fly. So that is the current situation in Zambia. And I thought I should talk about it. And it's very unfortunate. I will be watching and seeing what happens to the protesters. Hopefully it goes well. And they are, they do what they said they were going to do. I believe, because some of PF thugs, Patriotic Front, which is the government in power right now, are going to try by all means to try and disrupt it. But the youths are resilient. Because if you're going to think you're going to come and break the legs of these youths, they are freaking tired, man. You're not going to get away with this. They are coming there for you too, Self-defense is a thing. I mean, I'm not saying they should carry pepper spray and spray that shit in your eyes. I'm not saying that. Or that if you try anything to them, if you try and put their lives at risk, they should break your legs instead of theirs. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they should carry, they should defend themselves when you try and threaten them like that, Mr. Tutwanguluwe. All I'm saying is it's going to be a peaceful protest and it will happen. And some of us who are not going to be physically there have been doing stuff in the background to make sure that this goes on, because they're representing us, they're representing our children, they're representing our children's children, and most importantly, they're standing up for our country. So that is all. Please subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you in my next video. Have a beautiful day today.